Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I got a top 25 deck for you. We're going to talk about the main board. We're going to talk about the sideboard. We're going to talk about how to sideboard, and then go play some competitive Magic in both Mythic Best of 1 and Best of 3. So pretty excited about that. This deck has been something we haven't came back to in about 6 weeks to 2 months, so I'm very, very excited. It's one of my favorite archetypes, one of my favorite styles of play, so many of you might already know that as well. And before we do, go ahead and check out this top 25 deck. As always, I just want to say thank you, Planeswalkers. I'm very, very appreciative of your support. So please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this and daily top decks coming your way. Other ways to support the channel down below and stay in touch down below, like hopping in the Discord channel, which the link's there, and then additionally becoming a patron, which I am running a kickoff promo for those of you that are new and signing up to get a chance at winning some MTG Arena sleeves. All right, Planeswalkers, so what deck do we have? Well, my friends, this is actually a top 14. I just like saying 25. Mono Red Aggro. So one of my favorite decks, definitely consistently hit Mythic with this thing. At least Mono Red Aggro in general, not this deck, but Mono Red. You guys saw me hit it with the Mono White Life Gain one, which you guys can check out. But this particular deck, we haven't done in a while. I'm very, very excited about it. It's placed well in the meta. In terms of best of 1, definitely tier 1. And then in best of 3, it's nice to see this particular one, again, make it to rank 14. So congratulations to the player of $VIMXN. So great stuff. I couldn't pronounce it, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, for those of you that are new or those of you that are returning, from a naming perspective, it's Mono Red because it's all mountains, and then it's Aggro because everything is pretty much 3 or less, moves quickly, has haste, and then ideally anything past 3 is essentially your closer or finisher. So we got Torbrand and Embercleave here kind of rounding that out. And we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the main board, like I said. We'll talk about the sideboard, talk about how to sideboard, and then go play some competitive Magic in both best of 1 and best of 3. Deck list is available for you down below in the description, along with the links. So we'll quickly do a flyby here, as I like to do, because it's important to understand the deck in its totality as we begin to talk about each of the components. So first off, we have Fervent Champion here. So this is a creature human knight. It's got first strike, it's got haste. Whenever it attacks, another knight gets +1/+0, and then additionally it's got an equip ability for 3 less to activate that equipment onto this champion. Champion. Yeah, there we go. Then we got Fireblade Charger. So this is a new one from Zendikar Rising, and it's a creature goblin warrior. Now this is pretty unique because if it is equipped, it does have haste, but then when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. So there's a lot of cool things and interactions that we can have that we'll talk about in a little bit. Then we have Fire Prophecy. So I really like this in this deck. 1, it gives us some smoothing. 2, it gives us the removal ability of other creatures. But this card deals 3 damage to target creature. We may put a card from our hand on the bottom of our library. If we do, we get a draw card. So again, hand smoothing, draw ability, very, very nice. We have Rimrock Knight. So this is an adventure card. We can either pump our creatures for +2/+0, or we can pay the 2 and have it come in as that 3/1 knight. Pairs really nicely with Fireblade there. Then we got Robber of the Rich. So again, another major staple in terms of Mono Red. This is a creature, human, archer, rogue. Lots going on. We got reach, we got haste. A lot of people forget about the reach, so please don't forget about that. It makes a difference. Whenever Robber of the Rich attacks, if defending player has more cards in their hand, we get exile the top card of that library, and then during any turn we attacked with a rogue, so it doesn't have to be a robber, we may cast that card and we may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. So again, as long as we're attacking, we can trigger this also on Planeswalkers, I believe, so keep that in mind as well. And then additionally, we got Shatterskull Smashing, another staple for now, essentially a Mono Red from Zendikar Rising. This is a modal land. Here it can either come in as a tap land, or we can pay 3 and get our mountain, or we can have it deal damage to 2 things, either a creature or a planeswalker, and then for whatever we pay for X, we can split it among those two, and then lastly, if it's 6 or greater, we get to double that damage, which is really nice. And then we got Bone Crusher Giant. Again, another nice card from Throne of Eldraine, another staple. Here it's got Stop, which is an instant speed spell where it deals 2 damage to any target, and then that damage can't be prevented this turn. And then additionally, it is a nice big 4/3 body, but if it does get targeted by a spell or ability, then it's going to deal 2 damage to that spell's controller. So it can actually hit yourself, or obviously if they're trying to take it off the board, they're gonna hit that. Then we got Kazul's Fury. So this is another modal land. This one's nice in this deck, and we'll talk about this here in a second. But it's an instant speed spell. It has an additional cost to cast a spell. We can sacrifice a creature. This card will deal damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. So this pairs really well with our next card that we're going to talk about in a second here, but otherwise it's a modal land and it can come in tapped with Annex. So it pairs well, a great segue into this one. So Annex Hardened in the Forge. Annex's power is equal to the devotion of red. Whenever Annex or another non-token creature dies, we create a 1/1 Satyr token creature that can't block. And if that creature's power toughness or power is greater, power is greater than 4, we get to create 2 tokens instead. So this pairs really nicely with Kazul's Fury, a good little fling there, and then additionally works well with Fireblade Charger. And then if you even have Torbrand on, we get to go boom, boom, and I'm saying boom, boom with Fireblade. And then we also get a really, really nice pop with Annex as well there. So very, very well-rounded, well thought through so far. We have Phoenix of Ash. So this is flying haste. When it's also got Fire Breath. So Fire Breath is essentially a pump that's just a fire cost. And known for being on dragons called Fire Breath. Anyway, Phoenix of Ash gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and we can also escape this card for 4, and then exile 3 other cards from our graveyard for that escape cost. But then it gains a +1/+1 counter when it comes in. So great against rogues, great against mill. We have Torbrand here, Thane of Red Fell. This is a legendary creature. It's a dwarf noble. If a red source we control would deal damage to an opponent, an opponent or a permanent that opponent controls, it deals that much damage +2 instead. And then lastly, we got a nice finisher here with Embercleave, legendary artifact equipment. For those of you that aren't familiar, this has flash. It costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. And then what we get is we get a +1/+1 creature that has double strike and trample. So very, very powerful there. What I like about this deck is it is running 18 lands. We got another 6 from the modals, so it puts us at a healthy 24. Very aggressive for best of 3 too, which is nice, and prevents some of that flooding, which is really, really helpful. What is interesting is we're only running 18 lands here, and 2 of those is Castle Embereth. So that could be a change. I would be willing to guess that the reason why they're not running 4 and that 14 there is that so they don't have to slow play that and slow play that and potentially slow play that. So that gives you a lot of things to think about. The trade-off there is that you don't get that pumper during other parts of the game, but that's something to keep in mind. Whew. All right, Planeswalkers, that is the main board. This is what we're going to take into our best of 1 action. Pretty pumped about this. I like this style of play. I like these options here. I think it's very, very powerful and very, very nice for us. So we'll talk about the sideboard here, and then we'll talk about how to sideboard. So first off, we got Fire Prophecy. We already have 2, but here great against aggro decks. Things like rogues, it's going to be really helpful. It's going to be great against the mono white life gain deck that I just did the other day. It's also very, very helpful against Gruul aggro. It's great against Rakdos aggro. Great against Orzhov clerics. Great against Boros knights or warriors. Very, very healthy again against any really creature-based deck there. Going to be good against mono green food too. Then we got Roiling Vortex. So this is an interesting one. It's an enchantment at the beginning of each player's upkeep. Rolling Vortex deals 1 damage to them. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast, Rolling Vortex deals 5 damage to that player. Your opponents can't gain life this turn. So 1, it's helpful in the non-life gain, so good against the mono white. Again, we're only running 1, so it's slightly narrow. But where this really in the particular meta right now, and as far as I'll just say standard where it does work, is against Ashiok Nightmare Muse. It's going to shut down their down 7, I think it is, where they can't cast from exile. Works against Chandra, Flames Catalyst, Coveted Prize, Emergent Ultimatum's another one. We've started seeing a couple of those decks. Unpredictable Cyclone and Vadrock, Apex of Thunder. So slightly, there's just a couple of key cards to keep in mind that you may hear as you're thinking about kind of sideboarding some of these things. So again, very, very interesting one that you can play there, and probably some other spots too, but those are some key ones that I just wanted to call out for you. Then we have Scorching Dragonfire. So here deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die, then we can exile it. Again, any aggro deck, same as Fire Prophecy that we were talking about, that's exactly what I would put in here, is the Scorching Dragonfire. So dimir, rogues, mono white, life gain, food decks, the Boros Warriors, Knights, Winata decks too are good. This would be a good one to have in as well. And Gruul Aggro. Then we got Relic Robber. So I was really, really excited to see this. I've played this one in draft. I think it's super fun. And what we got here is we got a Goblin Rogue that has haste. So don't forget, it also triggers Robber the Rich. And then here, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player puts a 0/1 Kalaris Goblin Construct Artifact creature token with this creature can't block, and at the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. So you're going to run this against late game stuff. You're going to run this against the Doom decks. You're going to run this against Yorion decks. So that's Esper, that's Mardu, that's Orzhov. You're going to run this against the late game control decks. These are the Ugin decks. These are mono black, mono red, those kinds of things. You can run it against mono blue. You can run it all sorts of spots. Anything towards that tail end of the curve that you know that's going to take a while, absolutely play this one. Then we got the Akroan War here. So this is a saga, enchantment saga. The first one here, we get to gain control of target creature for as long as the Akroan War remains on the battlefield. Until our next turn, creatures our opponents control attack each combat if able, and then each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So very good against rogue decks, very good against Gruul decks, any of those aggro decks that we talked about before. Again, it's power. So if it's higher in power, obviously if it's got higher toughness, it's not going to work as well. So sometimes on the rogue decks might not be as good, but at least you can get them tacking in and flattening out, and then keep a fresh line of sight directly to direct damage to the face there. So very, very nice. In those spaces. I like it against the mid-range decks as well, because that can be very important. You could take things like a Croxa, you can take things that your opponents are going to use that are going to be pretty powerful that you may want to grab against mono green, against the food decks, taking the troll, the 7/7 or 9/7 troll, whatever it is. That's a huge one too. So lots of good areas for that. Then we have Ox of Agonis. So here, Ox enters the battlefield. We discard our hand, draw 3 cards, escape for 2, exile 8, and then this escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. So great against rogue decks. That's absolutely, we're going to play it. I actually like it, even in aggro and mid-range, just a one-of, just for a situation. But that's me. But traditionally, where you're probably going to play this is you're going to play this, like I said, against mill decks, and then you may even want to play it against more of the late game decks, or even a mid-range deck. If they're running the Croxa style versus kind of the Selesnya stuff, you can absolutely play this one. So Planeswalkers, that is the sideboard. We're going to talk a little bit now about how to sideboard, because it's important, especially because this version's particular to, like I said, the best of 3 deck, but it's going to run great in best of 1. I'm not worried about that. Because I know it will. But we'll see how it goes today. I'll eat my words. So first off, we'll go aggro, mid-range, late game. So against aggro, we covered that already. We got Fire Prophecy, we got Scorching Dragonfire, Those two, you may even want to consider Crone War at the high end sometimes, especially if they're bigger creatures or similar style. But for now, we'll just go with the 4. What would I change up? So me in particular, I would maybe drop 1 Torbrand here. You're going to want to keep your Embercleaves at the high end. I would consider dropping maybe my Phoenix of Ashes, because then this way we just keep all the pressure on the low range. But if you do want something to go over the top, Phoenix of Ash is great. You could always drop a Kazu's Fury and keep it as a 1-of, like I've mentioned already. The other thing that you may want to consider dumping as well is maybe even like a Robber of the Rich. Just my style. Again, Robber's going to be helpful. You could get rid of Rimrock, but it's going to pair good with Fireblade. So you got to really think through some of those things. But again, we only got 4, so it's not terrible. This would give us, if we did 1, 3 there, that gives us our 4. You could do 1 here, 1 there. That gives you 2. Drop 1 Kazu's and then do 1 of these. You could even drop a Fireblade instead. So lots and lots of different areas to play. It's going to depend on what your opponent's playing from those things. So keep that in mind. That's pretty much what I would flip in there. Next, we got the mid-range decks. So these are going to be things like the Croxa. It could be something like a life gain deck that we did, because those tend to take a little bit longer. It could also be the Selesnya decks. It could be Sultai mid-range, those kinds of things. In those decks, you may want to run a Crone War. You may want to run Agonis. If they're not creature heavy, you're not going to run Scorching Fire or Fire Prophecy, or Scorching Dragonfire or Fire Prophecy. If they are creature heavy, then you'll run those two. So I think a good blend between 4 and 6 there in terms of what you're going to flip in or flip out is going to be important. I would probably drop a Torbrand, actually. If they are more on the discard, you're going to keep Phoenix of Ash. You'll probably have more Ox in there. I would then consider flipping out your Fire Prophecies if they're not creature heavy, and then maybe even a Bone Crusher or 2, to be honest. I like having the big body, but if you got Rimrock earlier on and can get the pump with Fireblade Charger, those kinds of things, that could be a consideration there for you as well. So good stuff. Obviously situational. And then last, we talked about the late games. These are going to be like the Doom decks, the Yorion decks, any of the control decks, the Ugin decks. What would I do? So here, again, we got Relic Robber is going to be a big one, I think. You're probably not going to play Fire, so you might not play Scorching Dragon. You might play Rolling Vortex if they're Esper and they're running, like I said, they're not Elspeth, Ashiok. Maybe an Ox of Agonis too. Probably not in a Crone War, but maybe, depending on what they're playing. But most likely we'll say 3 to 4. So with Relic Robber, I would probably keep Torbrand here. I would probably drop 2 Fire Prophecies, and then additionally I would probably look to maybe drop 1 Bone and 1 Rimrock, or do the 2 Bones there, and that's going to give you your 4, because it's great to have the body, but again, you're going to do the 2 for 2. You're better off having this guy drop on 2 versus just doing the 2 and then hitting it for 3 next turn. At least that's my opinion. So that's how I would do that. So we talked about the sideboard strategy for both aggro, well, all 3, aggro, mid-range, and late-game decks. Again, in its totality here, we covered the main board, we covered that sideboard, and then how to play from a best-of-3 perspective. So if you do have questions or comments, please let me know down below in the description. Down below in the comments. Always happy to help. Additionally, down in the description is a link to the Discord. You guys can hop in there and feel free to hang out. We got a lot of great players in there. Happy to help me or them, as always. So please feel free to do that. And then lastly, again, deck list is available for you down below in the description. Links down below. All right, Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and play some Mythic matches here. I'm pretty stoked about this. Very excited for our top 25, really 14. And we'll jump right at it. There's that mono white life game deck that I like playing. And we will go and make haste, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how it goes today. As always, Planeswalkers, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it, and like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this. And we got a top 1,000 hot shot. Ways to stay in touch down below in the description, hopping in Discord, or other ways to support the channel like becoming a patron. Again, as I mentioned, running a patron kind of launch in terms of giving out arena sleeve. All right, let's see what we got going on here. We go first. I like this. We'll keep it. So I'm gonna slow play. A lot of you guys know that I like doing this. Usually I go Firebird Charger. Most of you guys that have seen me play this in the past, I'll play the 1-drop first. That's not the speedy guy here like we have. So ideally we just get lands. We'll slow play that right now. So it's too bad we could have got Embercleave off. So if they have a burn card, they're going to get a 2-for-1 here. Which is exactly why they blocked there. Yep. Good for you, Hotshot. We are currently stuck on lands. Alright, so if they burn me again, which they probably will. Oh. If we would have had more lands and would have been able to slow play it a little bit better, would have been helpful. No, we're not going to block. So they're flooded. They're the other way that we are. Oh, there was my land. Oh. What's funny is this was exactly what happened yesterday with the kicker one. So of course we play a top 1,000 person, and then we get absolutely hosed on lands. So literally all I need to do is tack in. Yeah, we're good. We're gonna end that and go to our next best of 1 match. So all they had to do is tack in there and then tap the Castle Embereth. Yes, you should play it out, but unfortunately, it's not fun to sit there and get destroyed with no lands. So let's go into the next one. Granted, again, it is playing 18 lands. But we do have six mono lands. We have 6 mono lands. We have 24 lands. So the odds there are much higher than what they should be, and we did not get anywhere near that we needed to. So I'm keeping this again for these 2. I can keep that one. So this is a big red deck. So we're gonna need to move really fast. Alright, so we're going to play Fervent Champion into... Actually, I'm going to play this guy first. Because I can go Fervent into Bone Crusher if I want. So they're going to get a decent amount of life back here. So we have lethal this turn, as long as they don't get a Wrath. If they get a Wrath, we're in trouble. Anything else I'm not too worried about. So now they can't hit me with a Wrath. We're gonna do this. this. Should be enough. Boom, there we go. Pulled back, even though we lost the top 1,000. Mono red, we beat a mono big red. Very, very nice in best of 1, so played much better that time. So now we're going to go into our best of 3 match here, Planeswalkers. So let us go into our traditional standard rank. There's the Simic Kicker deck you guys can check out as well. Again, top 25, top 14 deck here. Now, quickly, before we get going, in our last final part of today's episode, minus kind of the look back here at the end, just want to say thank you, Planeswalkers. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this. So, and in tune for daily videos, and then other ways to support the channel down below. Let's see what we got going on here. We got a big down pairing. I'm going to keep this. So we'll see. We got a big down pairing. Not super excited about that. Oh boy, not excited about that either. Could have tried to go a little bit more aggressive, but I don't mind starting off a little bit slower here. So we'll see. Ideally, we can get the annex down. If we need to get to 4 lands. We should be fine. But we'll find out. All right, so it's dimir. Is there another color in there? So far, control is the name of the game. Take 4. So counter's not going to work there. Right, we have lethal potentially. That's okay. It's okay. We'll do this. So I'm doing this so I don't put Torbran at risk here. So we have lethal with cleave. There we go. Oh. So as long as they don't have a kill spell, as long as they don't have... Oh, here we go. Guess I should have attacked first. should have attacked first. That's a bad move. Bad move on my end. Here we go. So it is okay, hopefully. Rather the counter. There it is. So here's where we're gonna need to play an ox of a few things so we can reload our hands. We're not gonna need any of Yes, this is the dimir control deck that we played. That does not help. Here's what we're gonna have to try. That's not enough. Not enough. I was gonna pop fire. That's bring him in, but it's not enough. So we'll go to the next match. Oh, bummer. So what do we want to do here? Let's grab the relic robbers. Let's get rid of those. I'm gonna grab a couple of these guys. I'm gonna dump one of those. I'm gonna get real aggressive. 2 there. 18, 21. Real aggressive. Get rid of Konzo's Fury. And what else? Could play Roiling Vortex, but I think that's pretty narrow. This is narrow. All right, we'll keep it at this. All right, Planeswalkers, here we go. Let us take it back. Let's take it back. The exile Really, really hurts. Get as much damage in as fast as possible here. So right now, as long as they don't get a kill spell for Annex, we have lethal. So they have a very, very narrow kill spell to hit that. No counters either. So far, so good. Alright, we should have it. Think we're good. There we go. Boom! Now, that was a fast match. That's what I've been waiting for with Mono Red all day. Fast match. Now, we are not on the play, so we're on the draw. Let's give it a shot. Alright, this could be one of the fastest ones I've done in a while. This is why I love Mono Red. Just fast matches. I will keep this. Alright, we got that guy in there. Actually gonna play him. That's fine. Now we can get the Relic Robbers in, hopefully. Oh, what? Oh. I was hoping we'd get at least one hit off with the Relic Robber off the bat. Now they're gonna have. Now they're definitely gonna have their counters. We'll try it. Unwind. Ooh, there we go. Alright. Here we go. We got Relic Robber in. So I'm doing that so we don't stack the double mod there. If we can get one more Relic Robber hit in, it's going to be real nice. I have lethal on their upkeep right now. Oh, well played, well played.
The shadows awaken.
Hit on. Ooh. Oh, this is gonna be close. This is gonna be real close. As long as they don't have an exile. Yeah, that's the right move. We'll dump a cleave.
Your heroics are but a dream to me. Close your eyes and dream of me.
We'll dump a second cleave. Actually, we'll dump this guy for now.
Surrender every morsel of fear.
Take Ashiok off the board first. That might have cost me, but I want to get that thing off the board. So I still got the 2 Bone Crushers. And I have lethal right now. Do they have enough to exile? They do have enough to exile though. So the smarter play. Yeah, there you go. How many do I have in my graveyard? Not much. Let's grab the Bone Crusher. Ooh, here we go. I can get Cleave on here. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Very impressive. There we go. We got it. The Relic Robber did it for us. Love it. Up to 98%, my friends. We had a great day. We started off slow, turned it around. Karma worked out better for us in the second half of today. We split best of one, beat one mono red controlled big red deck, lost to an aggro deck, and then we beat a control deck in best of three. So very, very awesome. Very happy about that result. Let's go ahead and look at this top 25 here. Mono red aggro deck again worked out great. Planeswalkers. So if you have questions or comments, let me know down below. Discord link down below, so feel free to hop in as well. Here's what we got going on. Deck list in the description, as well as the deck link. If you got, again, questions about the gameplay, questions about the deck, let me know, Planeswalkers. And then lastly, as always, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. I really do. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this and daily videos coming your way. And then also, I forgot to mention my Untapped profiles down below, so you guys can keep track of my journey, as well as the Untapped companion down below for you as well to share your journey, which I know a few of you have been doing. So awesome to do that. I love seeing that. So thank you very much. All right, Planeswalkers, you stay safe. Until next time, I'll see you again soon. Mythras out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I love playing mono red. It's still very, very strong, particularly the aggro deck, tier 1, best of 1. Great deck here that we have for best of 3 as well, as you guys could see. So, Planeswalkers, I'll see you soon. Take care.